That's a vacuum. I live in a at times, very noisy apartment building. So, yeah, keep that in mind. If it's not my AC, then it's someone else's, or my refrigerator, or someone's doing something with their plumbing, flushing the toilet, or I don't know. There's always some racket going on. And my neighbor, well, the guy on one side of me, he likes to play his guitar. Maybe you'll hear that sometime, or and there's the whole range of things. It's never horribly loud, but it's never quiet either. There's always something going on. Uh, yeah, and then of course there's the fact that I occasionally will hear these mystery noises. Uh, as long as I lived in this building, I've never quite figured out what they're from. I don't know. They might be coming from outside, but it's like every time I try to find it, it seems to be somewhere else. If it sounds like it's coming from my kitchen, if I go to my kitchen, then it sounds like it's coming from my bedroom. If I go to my bedroom, it sounds like it's coming from my living room. And if I go to the living room, and sounds like it's coming from outside. And if I go outside, if I go on my patio, sounds like it's coming from inside my inside my apartment, possibly, well, more likely the hallway. So uh it's I don't know if that's something everyone experiences. Certainly it's it's what I have to put up with sometimes. Fortunately, not too often, but yeah, often enough. Right. Okay. Hopefully, you have an idea on what it is I've made. And no, this isn't a death ray. This here, this is it's a good reception. That's what that is. Yeah, of course. Uh, Actually, I want to see what that looks like in. Let's see. What does that look like here? Yeah, look at that. I could uh, give it materials, send it materials. I mean, what color are spaceships really? Flying saucers. I mean, they're most likely going to be metallic, shiny silver kind of a color, right? But what other kind of colors? Well, I don't know. Yeah. So if you can figure it out, you know, sci-fi. I'm not really too much into the more classic stuff, classic sci-fi stuff, unless you're talking like the Twilight Zone. I like the Twilight Zone. It's pretty cool. Uh, and some of the original Outer Limits, but I like more of the '90s version of the Outer Limits. But still, I got stuff like To Serve Man. I can't remember if that was a 12. I think that was an Outer Limits episode, but I could be mistaken. Either way, that was pretty good. Uh, so it would help if I spelled that correctly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you like that. It's not by no means was that terribly sophisticated. I when I made the oil tank, I added three height sections so that if at some point I decide to hold on, let me click on here. If at some point I decide to do something in here, and in between, the middle of the three height sections, like make it a different color, or when I get into lighting, it seems like that'd be a long time from now. But whenever I do get into lighting, I can make that light up, or I can make the one on the the top and the bottom height section light up, or I can make each one different color, or do something with that, and just uh I'm sure I could think of something interesting. And to be completely honest, I could probably just, in many cases, you could probably just get rid of that, because it's only more in the cartoonish sort of stuff. Like if what's that movie? When Mars Attacks, kind of making fun of Independence Day. Uh, you know, and stuff like what's it? Marvin the Martian, I think, had kind of a thing like that. And oh yeah, that Jetsons, of course, but that's and some more of the cartoonish sort of UFO um, depictions have this little bubble on top the sphere. Um, yeah, so it kind of depends what you want. At some point, I plan to do like a very classic Buck Rogers kind of a rocket ship, and maybe at some point like a ray gun or something, sort of similar to this little death ray. I mean, this the the aliens receiver. Yeah, they're because they want satellite TV and they don't want to pay for it. So no, they're not planning on enslaving all mankind. No. Uh, of course, I have no idea what kind of landing legs to put on this thing. Maybe spindly little ones. I'm not even gonna worry about anything like that. At least not until I learn, you know, uh, animation and rigging and what have you. And even then, I might at some point, if I'm gonna really make a true UFO, I probably want to go back and I don't know, either improve upon this one or just make a new one from scratch. I mean, I didn't spend very long on this, and I've spent at times 12 plus hours on a single scene or object. I think 5 8 hours, and um. So this wasn't very long at all. It wouldn't be that painful to redo it. Uh, anyway, my skill isn't very high, but if there's anything you want me to try and make, and assuming if I think I can make it, uh, yeah, I'd like to do that. I mean, keep me creative and not just having to do the stuff in the book. And if someone just says, "Hey, can you make this?" and I'm not trying to make it very, close to what someone else's idea of it, what it looks like, then I could probably you know, uh, be a little more creative. I mean, you could say make me a flying saucer, as I did here, and you could even then you can do a few different things. I mean, not everyone would make a death ray. Then again, as I don't know. Just looking for some ideas. Uh, and of course, you know, this model here, and I'm sure that some of the ones I'm going to make for a while aren't going to be interesting to anyone. But if at some point you guys want to, to get something of mine, I'm not sure if I would do it or not. I mean, certainly, um, if I did, I'd have to sign up for some kind of a file sharing site, but that's gonna be quite a ways away. Anyway, I'll sign off now, and you guys can watch someone who has a better idea on what they're doing, and hopefully you'll watch one of my videos later on.